It's tempting to invest in individual stocks, especially when you see things like this. Stock of Meta, formerly Facebook, has been up 15 days in a row, hitting an all-time high of $714 a share. Stories like this are all over the place on social media. Here's another one. $100,000 invested in Costco in 1985 would be worth over $15 million today. These stories always make it feel like it's so easy to pick the winners and that if you just did that, you'd be set for life. I'll tell you why these lottery winners aren't walking around everywhere and what the emotional reality is and the mental biases that prevent people from achieving this. These stories trick you mentally and they work on three things: survivorship bias, recency bias, confirmation bias. Let's go through them. Survivorship bias is that during the time you invested in 1985, there were hundreds, if not thousands of businesses in the market. You had to pick that one company that would survive all those years and make the investor money. The survivor of that multi-decade process makes it look easy because you don't pay attention to all the hundreds and thousands of companies that died. Confirmation bias is only focusing on data that shows that the company that went up is going to keep going up. Recency bias is as it sounds. You're only looking at the recent price performance to make determinations about the future. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This is the average lifespan of a company on the S&P 500 index, 500 of the most productive US companies. On the far left, you can see companies in the 70s and 80s lived for, on average, 30 to 35 years. Those created in the 90s lived for around 25 to 30 years. Average company lifespan is decreasing over time because of increased competition and fast-moving technology. Every business, no matter what it is, has the phases of starting, growing, plateauing, declining, and then death. 99% of the time, companies follow that pattern. A big problem with investing in individual companies is you can't identify when a plateau will happen when you're on the ride up. And when you're in a plateau, you think that the good times will actually continue, that this is just a lull. And when a company is declining, you've been anchored to past performance and the good times. You think things will turn around. Eventually, it dies. So not only do you need to know when and at what price to get on the train, you need to know when the train ride is going to be over. So you got to be right getting on and you got to be right getting off. Argument can be said that the total US stock market is the same thing, rise and fall of nations. However, it is 10,000 times harder for an entire nation to collapse than it is for a single business. So it's simpler to go all in when the stock market is down, the economy is bad, because the odds of it going to zero are much lower than an individual company during that same period. Learn the lessons about stocks and business that your parents and teachers couldn't teach you. Download my free newsletter linked off the bio. Good luck. Take care.